fa. First of all, I want to judge the melody. Pom pam pa pa pam pa. So fa mi pam 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 pa pa pam pa pa pam pam. Okay, let's see. The melody starts very well. Pom pam pa pa pam. Then tom tan ta tom tam ta tan 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 ta ta tan. I really like the rhythm you have employed, so which is tan tan ta ta tan tan ta ta tan tan. So the rhythm tan 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 tan. It's very good. And the second part, remember that in the Govotte we work from the half a bar before up to half a bar. Okay, tan, 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 tan. It's very nice as well. Would be much better if these 3 notes, or better, these 4 notes are stepwise. So the leap here can work very well, even because we are in F major. So the leap from F to C. It means that we have a leap from a note to another note where both notes are part of the chord. Okay, tom pam pa pa pam pa. Ton tara ton. Stepwise movement is much way better instead of another leap. Pan ta 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 ton tan ton tan tan teresa sol mi. Then, because the beat of the Govotte is on the half note level, as you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then we have another 1, 2, 3, and 4. The ending of the phrase, which means the place where you put the harmony, should be here, on this level, on the downbeat. So this figuration can work because it's a kind of appoggiatura from F to E, like a 4/3 suspension, or just an appoggiatura, and that's fine. But what's the problem? The problem is that in the bass we should have right there a C to make it sound correctly as an appoggiatura. Otherwise you're giving to that F another harmony, and we cannot change the harmony so fast on the quartet note level, especially in the last part. I mean, we have a phrase which has 8 minims, 8 half notes. The last half note is the resting point of the phrase. We have to employ only 1 harmony there. Tarantan. So the melody is nice, but in the bass it's better to place a C right there. Then, about the second part of the melody, pom pam pa pa pam. Tom pam 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 re mi fa sol mi, re mi fa sol mi, re mi fa la fa sol mi. This is a leap which is on a very weak beat, on a very off beat, and it's too much. So anytime you do a leap, you're doing something which is heavier. If in a very fast movement of fast note you put a leap, that's quite dangerous because it can create instability or an accent which is not required. A stepwise note like a G is perceived in a much better way, in a much lighter way. La fa re mi fa sol mi. You see? Do you hear the difference?
Okay, yeah.
Fa re mi fa la fa sol mi, re mi fa la. It's too wide. Re mi fa sol mi. And this way the melody works very well. Yes. Now let's see the bass. Then, if I consider only the bass without the melody, I'll tell you. Let's read. This section, for example, contains too many leaps. let's say that if the beat is on the half note level, we can still use some leaps on the crotchet, but quavers should be very stepwise. Actually, exactly as you did here. This bunch of quavers, which are very stepwise, are very nice. They work very well. So use quavers in the gavotte with stepwise notes, without leaps.
Okay.
Because unless you have some figurations where you're turning around the same note. For example, if you do do, re, mi, do, fa, it's clear that do, re, mi, do, fa, you have do, re, mi, fa, do, re, mi, do, fa. So you're turning around the same figuration, the same third. In that case, it's quite acceptable. But here there is a leap down. So a third, and then like another chord. One different thing would be if, according to your original notes, you do mi, re, do, because there are parallel thirds. Mi, re, do, mi, re, do, mi, re, do, do. Mi, re, do, mi, re. That would be much different. Mi, re, do, mi, re. But in our case, since we have B flat, we decided to have B flat. So, ti, re, do, sol, mi. We can do parallel thirds this way. Sol, fa, mi, fa, re. Sol, fa, mi, fa, re. Sol, fa, mi, fa, re. It's even true that if we continue and if you arrive on C, that's a very nice seventh, which is then going to resolve on A. So we can opt for a descending stepwise movement. Fa, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do, ta, for example. Do, ta, da, tan, ta, do, tin. Then, if we have a seventh here that you would call in modern terms dominant seventh, you know that this has to resolve on F, right? On this third. So I really like this leap. But to make it sound even better, fa, mi, fa, you can come back to a F, then you move down in thirds, and you have a kind of imitation actually of what you did before. Then, because we are approaching a cadence to C as the fifth degree, we can use the converging cadence. Remember the converging cadence, fourth degree, fourth degree with the flat or the natural, followed by the fifth degree. This is a good bass. Pum, 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 pum. This seventh leap, it's totally fine because it can be understood as a descending second. Okay, but you do ascending seventh. That's fine. Pum, 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 pa, dun, do, da, di, re, do, da, 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 dun, tum, pum, 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 fum, da, 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 do, da, di, re, do, da, 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 dun, tum, tum. The bass is nice, the melody is nice, so now they should be both nice if you play them together. Let's see. Another thing you can do if you like it is let's leap up an octave to introduce something which is more stepwise. Pum pum pum, sto fa da da to fa mi re do pa 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 pum pum pum. We have more variety that way. This can work. It's just a little modification. Pum pum pa 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 pum pa pa pa. Fa sol mi do fa mi re mi fa do ti da do ti do la fa re mi fa sol mi. Very good. The first part is very nice now. You like it?
Yes. Yes. And I agree with everything you're saying.
Good.
So far, I understand why you're saying them, and
The most important thing is that what I show you and these adjustments, they are all clear and you understand them, so that you can implement them in your future composition. So now you compose this gavotte. There are good things, better, much better things than the other times, and even something to fix, of course, because in the second part there is something that can be improved a lot. But what you did good, remember what you did which works, and remember it to do it again, and understand the other modification which we are doing in order to write better gavottes in the future. Now, the other thing is use more stepwise movement on the quavers, on the eighth notes, more stepwise, more flowing. Okay, flowing should be the best word for quavers. Then la sol fa mi re do, tan tal tara ta 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 tan tal, la sol fa mi re do. Yes. Then we have to put the bar lines actually. Tam 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 tal tira to ta titon. Tira to titon. And you can see something that now doesn't work anymore. What's the problem now?
Is there too many beats in that big thing there?
No.
No.
I'll tell you what's the problem. That we start on the upbeat, this figuration, and this goes on the downbeat. Then we have the upbeat, and the same element that we found on the upbeat, it's now on the downbeat, and this is not good. Which means that we need another half note in the middle. So there are good things in this section. Let's adjust them according to the rhythm of the gavotte. In order to do this, I will copy page.
Okay.
Okay.
I wish my Mac Air could use the drawing things for, like, you have a Mac of some other kind.
No, I don't have a Mac. I don't have a Mac. In front of me, I have a computer, which is Windows, and here I'm using an iPad. This is an external device, an iPad. And what you can see now is the screen mirroring from my iPad. Okay, so this is an iPad. It's another setup.
I see.
To do this, you just need an iPad or a tablet with a pen designed for that for writing, and palm rejection, because otherwise it's very annoying.
Yeah.
Now you wrote pam pam pam. You did pam pam. Pam pam. We have one flat in the key. Then you did ta la to ta sol fa mi tu. Then I'll ask you a question. Why do you think that this works? This, I'm talking about the eighth notes. These eighth notes are very good. Why?
They're stepwise.
Yes, because mainly they are stepwise, and they are an elaboration of something which is repeated. So they create, you make a little sequence within the phrase. This makes them sound good. Now, in order to keep the balance of all this section, we need something else here. Yes.
A half note, yeah, and then a down up or something.
But
it's got to be moved over.
I want to show you two techniques. The first one is the one you said. Ton, ton, la sol fa mi, fa mi re do. Very good. La, sol, fa, mi, fa, mi, re. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then 1, 2, 3, and 4, and the arriving point should be here. So tam tam ta ra do fa sol fa mi re pi sol fa mi re pi boom sol fa mi. Instead of sol fa mi do, the arriving note should be in the next one. So sol fa mi re mi do ton ton mi do ton ton la sol fa mi re do re la sol fa mi
Yes, that,
fa mi re do re.
yes, that I see that. Yes, that's,
Yes.
that's more Govotte.
That's more Govotte, yes. Or do you want to know another technique, which is, let's say, a more advanced technique, but that you can use if you find a way to do that? Here it is.
So it's a
Yes,
so
you do.
it's a canon like.
A kind of canon-like, because we do tan tan taratar, and we make it start here on the upbeat. Tan tan la sol fa mi. So here makes sense to come back to C as you originally did, because we do sol fa mi do fa sol fa mi do fa tan ta ta ra to ta to ta ti to ta 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 tom to la sol fa mi re fa la. So I'm using a sixth followed by a third. Then ton to la sol fa mi re do fa mi re do ti la sol fa, and ton ton it can be mi la, because appoggiatura and appoggiatura 9 8 4 3 in order to have an A here. Mi la fa mi re do and this can be a continuation to the next phrase. So this section should be connected then to the next phrase. But I have to say that ton ton la do la ton si la do va so fa mi re si la ti la si la do ta di re. Yes, it's much better if to do la la sol fa la sol fa. So we do 5 6 and we shift this in order to have the 6 here, and this is an appoggiatura, and the 6 on F sharp and the 10th third on F sharp. So these two notes are appoggiaturas.
Okay.
Fa mi re do si la sol fa mi do, and then sol fa mi do sol fa mi do sol fa mi do fa mi la fa mi re do ti la do, and then it continues. But this is something more complex, as you can see. So for the moment, let's stay safe with this elaboration. Now, pam 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 pa 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 pam 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 pa la sol fa mi re do re. Then what you did in the bass? What do you do in the bass? Pam pam. For example, starting with an octave, it's a little weird because we have finished in C major, so we need something here. Dun, dun, dun. I want to say that this figuration dun, 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 can work very well in the Govotte. So let's see if we can keep it and apply it in some way. Sol, mi, do, sol. Now we finished in the previous part in C major. So it's totally fine to start with an A with an F below. As you can see, I write this, then it can become a 6 up to G. And dun, dun. I see that I can apply your figuration here. Sol, mi, do. You see?
Okay.
Bum, bum,
Yes.
bum, ba, ba, bum, bum, ba, do.
See, I was thinking I was starting in D minor, and then I was gonna answer it in with a C dominant.
Why do you say D
back
minor?
toward F.
Because this is not D minor. This is F major. This the beginning.
Well, if I had D on the bass, it would be a D minor.
Yeah, but it's not a good thing. I mean, it's not a good thing. I mean, because we have finished in C major, so the distance, it's very strange to pass to D minor. We should start in a very solid way, which means that if you finish in F, if you finish with C as the fifth degree of F, you can continue and you start the second section or with C major or with F major. Then you can pass through D minor, that's not a problem. But the starting point should be much better, should be much more solid in the main key, in the main framework where you are.
I thought in the second section, you had to go to relative minor or
Later.
some other.
Later, not at the beginning. Yes, don't start in that. We don't start in.
See, I thought
D minor.
I was just doing. You see, I was ending on C, and I was just gonna. It's kind of an evaded cadence to go to D minor.
We can move later to D minor. I show you how. Then tan tam pan tira to da tire ti. Now what can we do here? It depends. We have to see. We have to start from this point. Here we have. So before we did F sharp. Here we cannot do E natural and E sharp. So we have to stay or E natural and E, or we do E natural and C. We move down mi do fa. And we apply the same. La, fa, re, fa, tan, tan. And here we are on B flat major. Exactly.
Okay.
Now, pam, pam, pa, 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 to, da, ti, re, ti, to, ton, ti, 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 tin, ton. Now, I can do this moving around the C, lower Niberton, passing tone to reach C, to reach B, to reach E. That's a good thing. Pam 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 tara tora tora ti re ti pa ta la so fa mi fa mi re do re ti tin tin ti tin ta ti ton. Now we need another phrase. Let's see what's in the next phrase. Pam 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 pam. Even here, remember when we have a 4-note group, we have 4 notes, of course. 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's much better to place a lip between the first and the second note, and the third and the fourth note. If you place a lip between the second note and the third, will sound very strange, and between the fourth and the first of the following line. These lips here, they do not work so well. Why? Because usually our melody is projected to the following downbeat, so taran tan tan tan. It should arrive stepwise. Taran tan 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 ta ta ta. ta. Now, what is good of the second section? You wrote sol fa mi to ta do ti ta la fa sol mi fa re mi. These are all figurations that you can use in the gavotte. I told you that you have to stay very stepwise with the quavers. Yes, but this is one of those exceptions. Why? Because it's clear that you have a descending structure and that's just a diminutions. So in that case, that's fine. Re mi fa sol la sol fa re tan 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 tum tum tan. And then here we really need the transition to the minor. I show you now how to do it. For example, we have a phrase. Now we can decide that we want to move to D minor now. How? In the next section. So in the following 8 bars, we'll move to D minor. So we have to do copy and paste so that we have the bars. And we know that our cadence to D minor will arrive here. Maybe to don't be so boring, we can say maybe the higher D instead of the low D. Then, how to manage now that the passage, the transition? For example, we could do something in order to have this melody that was in the bass now in the soprano.
Sure, yeah.
For example, if we want to arrive to the cadence to D, we may like to have the leading tone on the very last. Tan, tan, tan. And if, so this is a figuration. So taraton, taraton, which is descending. Taraton, taraton. What about creating something which is ascending? For example, pam pam, look at this. Pa pa pam, pa pa pam. And from here, I can start to invent a sequence. So a sequence, let's say a progression, a kind of progression. For example, or tarato, tarathum, pa pa pam, pa pa pam, pam pam pam, re fa la re fa or re fa la. Pa pam pam, which is ascending. Pam pam pam, pam pam, pam 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 pam, pam re fa la. Then instead of repeating A, which is not so elegant, we may like to do an E. Pa pa pam, pa pam pam. So ta-ta-tan, ta-ta-tan, here it takes this part of the bar. So in order to have something similar, we should put it here. Pam pa 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 pam 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 pa pa pam pa pa pam pa 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 pam pa 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 pa. Pam, pa, 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 pam, pa, pa, pam, pa, 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 pa. For example, this note can be tied re, fa, ta, re, ta, 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 tan, and tan, 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 tan. Now I can put the straight version. Tan, tan, ton, tin, tun, tun. Ton ta ta ton ta ta ton, fa re fa ti ta 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 tam ta ta tom ta ta ton. And will be much better if on the fourth beat of the phrase I put what the 5th degree harmony. For example, we are going to D minor, so its 5th degree is A major. So if we have an E in the melody, a C sharp in the bass can work.
Yeah.
Now, let's see what kind of contrapuntal melody we can use, because arriving from the previous section, La, Sol, Fa, Mi, Re, Do, Re, Si, La, Sol, Fa, Si, La, Sol, Fa, Si, La, Sol, Fa, So, Fa. How can we use something inverted? For example, we have 10th, so let's write the intervals. 10, 9, 6, then this is 7th, turning out in a 10th, 9, 6, 7, and 10. Now, inverting this interval, if we do an inversion at the octave, we need a 10th. The inversion of the 10th is a third, which means G. Sol, Fa, Mi, Re, Tu. Sol, Fa, Di, Re, Do, Ti, Do. Do you see that if I do Sol, Fa, Mi, Re, Sol, Fa, Mi, Re, taran, ton, 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 I exactly arrive to the C sharp we want. And we are doing a very interesting invertible counterpoint. Then the other bar. La, Sol, Fa, Mi, Re, Do, Re. Ton, fa, la, da, do, da, da, ti, da, do, da, do, ti, da, do, do, da, di, re, do, di, do. Or, tam, da, da, din, ti, da, so, fa, mi, re, ti, din. We leap up an octave, so we can have a stepwise movement. Ti, la, so, fa. Ah, no, because we have one more bar, so ti, ta ta tu, fa la fa re, ta ta tira to ta tom, tira ta ta ta. We can do an imitation of this taran ton tan, ton, and now we leap ton, F sharp because we are in G minor sound. Mi ta tan ta tan ta ta tan. Then tin ta ta tan ta ta tin tin ta ta tan ta ta tan. Now, what about an imitation, a crossing imitation this way? Ton ta ta tin. This way, we can arrive to F in the bass, where we can put a sixth harmony, a D minor, which is perfect for then having our ascending movement. And now, instead of using the descending thing, we may like to try an inverted thing ascending. Ta ta tam ta ta mi fa sol la, like mi fa sol la so, mi fa, mi re mi fa sol mi la re fa tam, or re fa ta ta tam ta ta tam ta ta ta. Ti re to ti to ti re to ti tam pa pa. Actually, it's much better if you arrive down. I much prefer it's something more according to my taste. If we move down, taran taran taran, as we did before. So we do another inversion here. Taran 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 tan tan tan. So the melodic scale but descending. Tan, Niberton ascending, ta 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 tan tan, tan tan ta tan tan tan, and then we are in D minor. The cadence to D minor happens here. Now I'm going to play the process. Do you like it?
Yes, like it's right.
Tan, 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 tan. Yes, tell me.
Now is another 4 measures to end in F now.
8 measures.
Go
8 measures. 8
8,
measures. Because
8 more measures to 8 more measures to get back to F.
indeed. Actually, I have to say that what you wrote here in the first section should be it's short. It should be twice longer. We need 8 bar phrases in the Govotte, 4 plus 4. Even because otherwise you don't have enough space to do modulation. Would be much better. So, I mean, listen to that thing. I'm just playing the melody. Re, mi, fa, sol, mi, tom, tan, ti, ta, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do, fa, ti, tan, ton, which concludes on F. Then you repeat it. Tin, ta, do, ti, ra, do, tam, pom, pam, fa, re, mi, fa, sol, mi, do, fa, mi, re, mi, la, sol, fa, mi, re, tam, po, pam, pa. Then second phrase. Pam pam tira to ta to ra pi pi pim pom pom pam pa to ta ti ta ra ta 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 to ta ton ta ta ton ta ta tira tira to re to ti tam pa pa pam pa pa pam. You can feel that it's arriving on the right place, on the right time, in the right timing. Now let's do this, so that we arrive to have a complete Govotte. Now 1, 2, 3, and 4. In the previous, so we did this. Pa, do, fa, mi, re, mi, fa, don't do that. I want to write it extensively, all the notes. And I want to show you how to do a second phrase, which is similar, but ending to another place, which is something very common in this style, actually. So, one, let's do this, because then we need a second phrase to conclude the step, and then we need other 2 phrases to conclude it. One and 2, and so we have all of the Govotte. Then here there will be the repeat point, and of course the repeat will be here as well, this way. So you did do, fa, mi, re, mi, fa, do, fa, mi, re, mi, fa, do, fa, mi, re, mi, fa, do, fa, mi, re. Yes.
You left the mi out of it.
Right. Mi, re, mi, fa, do, ta, ra, ton, tan, ton, re, mi, fa, sol, si, do, la, fa, re, mi, fa, sol, mi, re, mi, la, fa, re, mi, fa, sol, mi. Here we are ending on, so F, 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 C, then we did sol, fa, mi, re, do, ta, ra, ta, sol, fa, mi, re, do.
I have no idea what you're doing, so that's my luck.
Sol, fa, mi, re, do, then fa, mi, fa, where this F is an appoggiatura to E, which is the third. Fa, mi, fa, mi, fa, mi, la, sol, fa, mi, la, sol, fa, sol, fa, mi, la, sol, fa, sol. This. Now, you divide this section into two parts. You can easily repeat the first part.
Okay.
Pam pam pera pam tan ton taraton. But the second part will be different too. What happens? What's happening? Something fall down. Okay, I don't know what actually. Okay, I see it. Now, maybe Walter Piston's book. I don't know. Then ton 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 ton. Here, ta sol fa mi re do. We want to have a cadence to F. So, do ti da ton. We can keep the same rhythm. The easiest thing you can do consists in a kind of transposition where if this is set to be in C major, because we are arriving to C major, and we want now to be in F, the relationship is a fifth. So we have to transpose this down a fifth. Down a fifth means B flat becomes E flat. You see? I'm transposing this down a fifth. Tan, tan, or up a fourth, of course. Tan, tan, ton. Then ton, tan, tan, with the difference that we have to finish on the downbeat. Why? Because it's the end of a section. So we need to finish on the downbeat. Tan, 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 ton. Tan, ton. Good. Then how can we justify the E natural with the following E flat? Someone could say is a false relationship, and I would say yes, true. Consider that we can use this harmonic 3-5 followed by 6-3. So this could work, which means that if we put an A, do, this works very well, especially on this, and we transform in figure bass this C into a 6-3. Ti la sol. It works. In order to do this more efficiently, we put an appoggiatura fa mi fa. Then ta 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 la fa la sol fa mi do fa pam 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 ta la fa la sol fa mi do fa do fa. This way we have transposed this section, which is the same, just transposed a fourth up. So that instead of ending to C, we'll end on F, and we have a complete section. Do you like it?
Bravo.
Bravo. This is the way of composition. You don't have any. So remember this. You don't have to always invent something new. But once you have something, you have to elaborate it in order to create other melodies from the same thing, from the same original thing. It's not an art of invention. It's not an art of creating new material. It's an art of elaborating the same material. Okay, then after this cadence, so let me play again the first section. Repetition, ton tan ta 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 ta. Second part. Then what can we do in order to don't have the same thing again? I mean, in order to don't have some new material. Let's take something from before and let's elaborate it. What element can we elaborate? Tam ta ta dun, dun, tan, ta, ta. What do you want to elaborate?
Something with that rising octave somehow.
Or, for example, look at this. This is ascending. Now we are on D. What about using this D for having it, but like in a mirror? So we have up a fourth, then down a third, and down a second for many times. So we do down a fourth, then up a third, up a third, ton, tan, tan, ta, 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 ton, tam, pan, ta, ra, ta, tam, ton, tam, pam. Let's say that this should be pam. Then we can do the C a low down, so 6 down instead of a third up, in order to stay in the bass register. To, dun, 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 to, re, ti, ta, re, ti, ta, re, ti, ta, to, de, to, din, tra, to, ta, ta, ton. Then now we have, look, we have D and we have G. This reminds me the possibility to do a quint fall. Tan tan tore ti ta tol te to te ta to ta ti tol tan tan tore ti ta ton ton. Down a fourth, up a third, fa sol re mi fa, and now we are on C. And we can repeat the same thing a stepwise down, so that we create a kind of fonte. To ti ta to ta ti to sol ti to ti ti ta to ton ti ta to ta ta to ti ti. Then down a fourth, so we repeat this, B flat, tin, ton, tan, tan, down a fourth, tan, ton, re, fan, ton, ta, 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 tan, 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 this, tan, tan, mi, fa, sol, la, fan, ton, ta, ra, ta, ta, tan, and the B flat will be the beginning of the next section. So do you see how I'm working, starting from a melodic thing? I'm not really thinking about harmony so much. I'm thinking about some structural note that can fit a sequence, for example. But my focus is on the melody and the rhythm. Tan tan do ti ti ta so ti ta do ta ti ton ton ti 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 tan ton ta 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 ta. Then before we had something very interesting. Do you see this D? Do you see this D?
You mean the red one up at the top? Oh, there, that
Yes.
one.
Now, if we start something on this, if we start the melody on the D, now I'm going to play it from that point. I'm ending in D minor. You see? So if I start on D, I will end in D minor. If I start the same thing on B flat, just for transposing a third down, and finish on B flat. Tin, ti, re, mi, tin, ti, re, mi, fa, sol, ti, ta, ton, ti, ta, to, re, to, ti, ta, 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 to, ton. Then, is there a way? Yes, of course there is, but it's a rhetorical question. To re-elaborate this phrase so that, for example, the first time he wants to move down here. So what we had in the right hand, let's say in the top voice, now is going to be in the left hand. Instead of up a third, I will leap down a sixth. With E flat. Ton, 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 E flat, ton, ton, to, la, sol, fa, mi. And from this point, I have to prepare the final cadence. You see that it works really well. And I'm just re-elaborating the material. You don't have to invent something new. Remember this. Then, what do we have? What did we have against this session? We had this. In the bass, we had a chromatic thing. Tan, ta, ta, ta. Pum, pum, lam, pa, pa, pum, pum. Then, let's see this. If we have a G, will be very good to have a third, and then will be very good to have an A. Is there a way to do a kind of canonic imitation of this section? If we mention this harmony, maybe A, pa, A, pam, 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 ti, da, to, tan, 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 ti, ti. Ten, tan, tan, to, ti, ti, ta, ton, ten. Tan, tan, to, ti, ti, ta, ton, ten, ta, to, ta, ti, ton. Here we cannot use the F sharp because we are going to have an F natural later. So re, mi, something that comes to my mind is that if I do re, mi, fa, re, tan, ton, ti, tan, ton, ti, ti, to, te, ti, ti. Then tan, ton. You have a 6. Look, 6. Then this diminished 7th. Here we had a third, and so we have a third, which is a very good thing. I mean, no. That was an octave. That was an octave, and now we have a third. So we had a 6 there. And we want to have an E here. Ti, ti, ta, ti, ta. And we had a 6, so the 6th can be A, for example.
compose yourself. I do. So like, I've tried to do that before. It's tricky. Yeah. At least a bit of it.
Then I'm just turning around the same notes. We had a sixth there actually, and so we have a sixth here, followed by another sixth, and then I leap down to have this fa sol mi fa do ti, then mi fa sol mi fa mi re mi do sol mi re mi do then sol mi re mi do sol. I can do that leap so that I'm a step down. Sol fa mi re mi do sol fa mi re mi fa sol fa mi sol fa sol fa. Or here we can introduce the E flat, so there is an excuse to have a reason to have an E flat there. Imitation in the bass. Now this was part of the left hand, so this is what is here in the left hand is something we had in the right hand before in this line. So let's use color blue. Maybe we can do this. So here we were in D minor, now in B flat major. It means that this note must be a third down. So instead of B flat, G. But wait a moment, G, which is supposed to be there, G, indeed, it's a G, but this G then is supposed to be an E, so we cannot do the actual same thing if we arrive to the low D. So it's even true that this note E should be down. So what's down? Down a third. Down a third, E should be C. But do you know why? Do you know why? Do you know why? Yes. Let's do this. If I copy the same thing, is sol fa re ton ti ton. There is something a little weird because we have a third, so inverted should be a 6. Inverted should be a 6. There is something which is not. Okay. Because here I started on the last bar. So. Okay. So this G, the G I have there should be here. Yes. So this is the G. We're supposed to be sol ta sol ta ran tan then tom tan la sol tan. Here it is. Then tan Now, the very good thing of passing through B flat is that we can use the Fa super La of F major, which is this B flat. Then we can just place a cadence. So we go to a diminished fifth here. We just with an arpeggio. Ta ra ta ra ta 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 ti ta 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 ti. Yes. Tan and ta 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 da tan la tan tan ton tan tan, and here's the final F. Five, 3, 8, 5, 8, 5, and then cadence. Pom, pam, pam, and we finished our Govotte. Let's see how the second part sounds. Tan 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 ta to to. Oh, nice! You like it?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
as you can see, I'm just doing an elaboration of the material we already had. I'm not inventing something new. I'm finding a way to re-elaborate it. All what is in the second part comes from the first or the beginning of the second part. This is the art of composition. It's all about combinations, re-elaborations, inversions. One thing at a time. Now, I really like the first part of the Govotte you composed today compared to what you did at the time, because it was much more balanced.
Yeah.
What I tell you is that for the next time, you do your best to write a bourrée, but following a longer structure, 4+4, and then 4+4. Each phrase has 8 bars. Remember this.
Okay.
Okay, now I'll play one time the bourrée from the beginning to see how it sounds from the very beginning. Slowly, because it's, it's small with this way. Yes, ton ton, or to be more effective, tato tato ton ton tam tam. This, just for the last note.
Ba-da-da.
Yes.
Okay.
Ti ti to ti te to ta ta tan, and maybe pom pam pam pam, adding two notes. So the first one is an arpeggio, the seventh, to tan ta, and the second one is an appoggiatura. Ton tan 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 tan, li fa to ta ta. Good. This Govotte now it's complete.
Complete. I will study this very carefully.
Do you want to learn how to compose music in the Renaissance or Baroque style? If you're at the beginning of your musical journey or a professional looking to deepen your knowledge of early music, the best path may be a guided integrated course. Composing in the style of the 16th century or the 17th and 18th century requires much more than knowing harmony and counterpoint. You need to navigate a vast world, including solmization, fugue, cantus firmus, mensural notation, partimenti, dances, chorales and more. To avoid getting lost, you need an experienced guide, a musicus practicus who knows the path, walks beside you step by step, and helps you overcome each challenge with tailored exercises, attentive feedback, and continuous dialogue. Have a question about a topic? We'll discuss it. Stuck on an exercise? We'll work through it together. Want to go deeper into a subject? We'll tackle it with focus. Every month I accept a limited number of apprentice musicians like you for a program of personalized one-to-one lessons where I guide them in learning to compose in the Renaissance and Baroque style. How it works? During our one-to-one lessons we focus on 2 and 3 voice composition, counterpoint and partimenti, practical exercises on historical style, schemata, cadences, voice leading, models, patterns, and much more. During the week, you'll also follow recorded lessons on repertoire analysis, pattern structure, tones and modes in polyphony, rhythm of historical dances, and everything else you need to progress. This way, each individual lesson becomes focused, effective, and productive. If you'd like to apply for the musical apprenticeship program, go to the link and fill out the form telling me your musical background, studies, experiences, instruments, what you play, your current skill, what you can compose, if you know partimenti, chorales, anything else, and your goals, what you would like to learn in the short, medium and long term. I'll personally read your message and get back to you within 24 hours to let you know how we can work together. Don't miss the spot and learn to compose music as if you had lived in the Renaissance or in the Baroque.